Hey folks, this is Dr. K, and in this video I want to create some buttons for a website using Figma. So this is an example of the types of buttons I'd like to create. I'd like to create a call to action, primary, secondary, tertiary button, icon with text, icon inside button, and an icon only button. These are just examples. I'm not going to follow this exactly, but I probably will use something similar to the wordings in these buttons. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing I want to let you be aware of here, I want to delete these. Okay, I have some of these in Figma. Okay, I'm gonna create a new file here. I'm just going to start from scratch. So I'm going to create a new file, and it's going to be a design file. And it's a draft. That's fine. I'm going to call this button walkthrough. Okay. And I'm going to, from that file I showed you, that is a PDF file on the web, I'm just going to highlight this text because I want to remind myself of what buttons I need to create. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to Figma. And before I paste this, actually I want to create a new frame. Okay, so I want to create a frame. And I'm going to use one of these templates here. I'm just going to use the desktop template, but I'm going to change the width and height. I'm going to use 1200 for the width and 800 for the height. Okay, and there I have my desktop frame. I'm just going to double click on this hash mark here, and that will center the frame on my application. And then I'm going to go click inside this frame, and I'm going to paste that text. All right, and there's the text. It's kind of, I got this Inter as my default font. I kind of like to use Roboto as my default font, so I'm just going to use Roboto, and I'm going to bump it up to 16, and I'm going to put a little space in between these just by adding some returns. Okay, that looks pretty good. And actually, while I'm here, I think I'm going to right justify these. Okay, just like in the PDF here. Okay, they're right justified. So let's go back here and let's start creating our buttons. All right, so when you create a button in Figma, what you want to do is you want to start with a text element. So I'm just going to click on text, and I'm just going to click down here. And let me see my primary button, and I'm going to create a primary button first. I'm going to leave the call to action for a little bit later. My primary button is going to say proceed to checkout. Or just to change it up a little, I'll just say go to checkout. And the reason I wanted to do text with this is, first of all, I'm going to right click on this, is because I want to use an auto layout with this. So I'm going to click auto layout. And what that does is that puts some padding around this. And if I copy this, then I could just change the text, and the padding will stay relative to the text. All right, which is very nice. So I've got my auto layout around my text, and I can control the amount of padding here. You can see here's spacing between items, but I don't need that. But horizontal padding, you can see there's 10 pixels of horizontal padding and 10 pixels of vertical padding. and that is just fine. I'm going to actually give this a background here. And that's my fill. All right, so I'm making sure that this rectangle is selected, not the text inside. I can select the text inside, but if I hit fill now, you can see that's black, so that's the color of the text. But I want to select the rectangle around that text, and then add some fill to that. All right, and what I'm going to do is just click on fill, and it's white right now, so I'm going to click on that, and I think I want to make it like kind of bluish green a little bit. And let me see if I clicked on the eyedropper, and then I clicked over here, and you can see that applied that to the rectangle. Let me see, and I'm just going to play around with this. I ultimately want the text inside to be white, so I don't want this to be too light like that. I want it to be a little bit darker, but I want to keep this dot all the way over to the right, because that gives it the maximum saturation, which means color. So if you move it to the left, it's unsaturated. That means there's no color in it. So I want it to have like the maximum saturation. I want it to be, like I said, a little bit darker, because I'm going to make that text white, and I want to make sure it stands out. And now I'm just going to close this box, and you can see the color is there. What I want to do here is I want to stay on fill, and I want to hit this style button, these 4 dots. Okay, and I want to add this style. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to add that color to my list of color styles, and I'm going to call this primary, because I want this to be the primary color for my website. Okay, or the primary color for my primary button. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create that style, and you can see now I have a style primary. All right, now I'm just going to hit escape to get rid of that dropper, and that looks okay, but actually I want some rounded corners on that button. So the way you get those is you can go to corner radius over here, and I think I'm going to give it a corner radius, oh, I don't know, how about 8? All right, I'll give it a corner radius of 8, and now I will select my text, and I will give it some, instead of black text, I'll just make it white text, and I already got white over here that I can select with an eyedropper. The other thing is I want, actually I'm going to select my text again, and I want Roboto, but 16, I think I want to increase that. Let's see what it looks like if I increase it to 20. I can play with that, but I'll keep it on Roboto 20, and instead of regular, I think I want semi-bold here. Okay, and that looks like a good, strong primary button. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's move that up to where it says primary button there. All right, so that's good. And actually, why don't I add like a little drop shadow to this button so it stands out a little bit? That's in effects, and that's my default, probably because I used that before. If I want to edit that drop shadow, I can come over here. But for the most part, let me bring the blur down to 2 and see what happens. Okay, that's a little bit stronger shadow. Actually, that's a little bit too strong. I do like that blur. Maybe I'll even bring it up to 5 there. Okay, that looks better to me. Anyway, I could go on playing with this a lot, but I'll keep this for now. So that's my working primary button. All right, and then for my secondary button, I'm just gonna, so you can see the layers over here. So this is my frame, and my whole button's selected there. So I'm going to copy that and then paste it. And what's going to happen is it's going to paste it in the exact same position. So now if I grab this, I have to wait till the cursor turns to an arrow there. I can pull this down. All right, and remember the auto layout, we said that if you put different text in there, it will adjust to that text. So for my secondary button, I'm going to do continue shopping. I'll just say go to, for something different, go to shopping. I'll just say back to shopping. Back to shopping. Okay, and you can see how that auto layout adjusted to that. This is a secondary button, so I don't want this to be as strong or as eye-catching as this button. And there's a couple ways I can do that. I can change the color. I could change the hue. I can make it a little less saturated. I can make it a little darker, or there's various things I could do to change that so it doesn't stand out quite as much as the primary button. What else can I do? I can do this type of thing, which is an inverted button. So if my primary color is orange, I can invert that and make it white, make the text orange, and then have an orange outline there. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make this button a different color, keep it simple. So notice that this button has a primary color, all right? And what happens here is now if I change the primary color, I think what will happen is both of those buttons will change. Okay, so if I select this and then I change the primary color, see, both of those colors will change because they're both linked to that primary color. All right, I'm going to keep that primary color for the primary button, but for the secondary button, what I want to do is I don't want that primary color. And I'm trying to think the selection colors. I'm trying to think why I have colors here and colors here. I think the selection colors include the white of the text. So this is my fill here, and I'm going to detach the style, that primary color style. And you can see now it just gives me fill here, and that style is detached. So now I can go in and edit this for this particular selection. All right, so actually I want to change, let's make it a little bit more greenish. Okay, and let's make it a little bit, I'll make it darker so I can see it. I'll keep it right about there, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll close this and I'll stay on fill, and then I'll add another style here, okay? Add the style of this background, and I'm going to call this one secondary. All right, and that looks pretty good to me, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. You can also, play around with the sizing and the things like that. You can make the font a little smaller. I'm just gonna keep it like this. I like this because my eye goes to this color. Personally, my eye goes to this color faster than it goes to this color, but that's okay. Some of this is going to be a little bit subjective. So now I'm going to take this button and turn it into a call to action button. So again, my frame 1 is selected. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it, and it's just pasted another button right there. I'm going to bring it up here. And now I'm going to say, let's see what this one says, shop books. So I'll just say shop for books. And I'll put 2 exclamation points in it. And then I'll go to the text. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these all caps. Okay. And I want to keep this in case I decide to maybe make it a primary button again. So I'm going to keep, shop for books with S capitalized and B capitalized. But I'm going to go into this text portion, go in these ... dots, and you can see down here for the case, you can make it all uppercase, okay? Or you can make it small caps, you can make it forced small caps, title case, which is basically what it is now, but I actually wrote it like that. But I'm going to make it all uppercase for my call to action button. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak this auto layout. For my call to action button, I think what I want is 20. Whoops, I don't want it there. That's between elements. For my horizontal padding and my vertical padding, I want to make them both 20. Okay, that's nice and big. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit square. I'm not going to round the corners so much. Maybe I'll give that a 4. And yeah, I like that. That just, screams click me. All right. And then maybe, I don't know if I need to change the color of that. I could do. I think I'm going to keep it like this for now. And then for my tertiary button, let's see what I got here. I got a smaller style button that's the same color as my secondary. I like that. I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to highlight that secondary button, and I'm going to copy and paste that, and then bring down the copy here. Okay, and I said I wanted to make that smaller. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to make the font smaller. Okay, so right now I have semi-bold of 20, and let's take that down to 16. Oh, that's nice. And what if I just made this regular? I don't like regular. I think regular doesn't show up enough. I think I'm going to keep that semi-bold. But I did bring this down a little bit. I think I'm also going to bring the horizontal padding and the vertical padding down to 6 and see how that looks. All right, so the only thing I don't like is because I made the padding smaller, the corners I'm thinking should be a little bit smaller. So let's bring those down to 6. And actually let's add some more padding, but just in the horizontal portion. We'll bring that back up to 10. Okay, I like that. I like that because that's, more prominent button. This is the most prominent. That's, a different color, and this is less prominent. Okay, so that looks pretty good. The only thing I'm concerned about now is some of these backgrounds maybe aren't dark enough for the white. And there is a plugin to Figma called Contrast. And if you activate the plugin and then choose the text, it will tell you that this is bad contrast. This fails. by standards that somebody created. This actually fails the contrast even for large text. So yeah, I was concerned about that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change the color. And fortunately, these are all linked to the primary color. So I'm just going to go in and change this primary color. Okay, by hitting this, and let's see, I'll click that, and I'll just bring the darkness down a little bit. Yeah, I like that nice hard contrast, but let me see if that solves the issue. Now if I hit contrast, my contrast plugin, and choose shot for books, it still fails. Let's see. So it's comparing the contrast between this color and this color, and it's saying there is not quite enough. It's at 2.81. I usually want a contrast of around 5 or something like that. So let's try to make it, maybe make it even darker. I don't know, I might have to play with this a little bit to get it how I want. I mean, that definitely should work, but it feels like it kills some of the saturation for me, which I don't like. Maybe if I made it more blue. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make it this color blue here. And I'm sure that one's going to pass now. And, even this should pass. This passes with large text, which it is fairly large text. But I know this one is, I couldn't call that text large, so that's probably going to fail no matter. Yeah, that's going to fail, so that's okay. Let's just keep playing with this. Now let's play with the secondary color. We'll edit that a little bit, and let's see if we can bring that down, and let's see what happens here. Okay, and I'm going to select that, plugins, contrast, and that is still failing. Would you look at that? I don't want to make that totally black or anything. I don't want to make that too dark because I feel like I'm losing color. But this, it's still pretty good. Uh, 2.94. I'm probably not going to worry about this too much, but I don't like having to make this too dark. But I think I'm going to do that temporarily, just to get that contrast safe. And this is you have to select the text, and then it'll look at the background. So this one passes for large text. I'm gonna leave it like that for now because I don't want to spend too much time on that. It doesn't have to, you know, pass with flying colors at all times, but it's just something to consider. If it's kind of on the borderline, you don't have to worry about it, but just make sure it's readable to the average person. Okay, and certainly it should be readable to you. If it's not readable, then I will. If it's not readable to me, I'll let you know. But something like this would definitely be fine. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the icon with a text button, and let's go back to our primary button, and we'll copy that and paste it. And then this one will be an add to cart button, but I want to put an icon in here right where that X is. All right, and I want to put a font awesome icon in there. So I'm going to go to font awesome icons, and I'm going to search for cart. And here's an kind of add to cart here, and here's an add to cart here. I think I'm going to use this one. And then what I want to do is I want to copy this glyph right here. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, I'm going to go back to Figma. All right, and right where that X is, I'm going to, well, I've already got the X highlighted, so I'm going to paste that right there. And you can see that now there's just like a space there. So I want to highlight that space. I know that that icon is actually there. It's just not showing up because I've got Roboto font selected. So I want to go here and select Font Awesome 5 free. Might be able to do 6 free with this too, but I'm just going to stick with 5. But make sure, this is important, it's still not showing up because this is regular. You want to make that solid. And as soon as you do that, that icon shows up. All right. So let's do a little bit more now. Let's go copy, paste. All right. And we want the icon inside the button. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of the text, and I'm going to get rid of, you know, all the space around this. Here I've got a shopping cart inside of a square. That looks okay. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to get that circle working, get the search bar inside of a circle. I kind of like that. So let's try to do that. First of all, I have to find that magnifying glass in the Font Awesome icons. So let's go here, and I'll just type in search, and there it is, the magnifying glass. Okay, and here I'm going to copy the glyph, and now I should be able to just select this and paste that, and it should show up. Yes, it does show up because the font is already Font Awesome, and it's solid. Okay, but I'd like this icon to be a circle. So I think, let's see, what rotation? No, I think the corner radius. What do I have to make? 50? Yeah, I have to make the corner radius 50 for that to become a circle. And I think while I'm doing this for the search, I don't like that drop shadow, so I'm going to take that drop shadow off. And there's no selection here to take that drop shadow off, what I have to do is I have to go here, hit this minus. Okay, and that gets rid of the drop shadow. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, it looks a little bit like an oblong circle, a little bit like an oval. It's probably a little higher than it is wide, but that's pretty good. I like that. And then let's do finally an icon only button. And the example I have of that in the slide is a plus. So let's just, I think let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this, and then I gotta get that arrow. All right, and this is not an icon only. This is an icon inside of a background. But I want to get rid of that background. That background is there because of the auto layout. So let's see, can I remove auto layout? Yes, I can. And when I remove auto layout, that still gives me a search. I want to get to that plus. I want to get plus already inside of a circle. So I'm going to copy this glyph. And I'm going to select this. And I'm going to paste that. And I wonder, since I got rid of that auto layout, let me see what I have here. Okay, this is frame 7 that is selected. Since I got rid of that auto layout, can I drag this out? Can I just select that text? Yes, it dragged the text out. It's there, but since the text is white, you can't see it. So I'm going to go to my text. Well, since my text is selected, I have it as white, but I'm going to click these style buttons for the fill, and I'm going to select my primary color, and that should do it. And I can just get rid of that one. And because I want that to look bigger, I'm just going for me to get this bigger now, since this is just a glyph of text, I have to increase the font size. So I'm just going to increase that to font size. Let's just do 32. Okay. And now I've got my 7 icons. So not too bad. To save all these, you go to your desktop layer and you click on that. So your whole desktop is selected. And then you should be able to go to export. And it's saying export desktop 1, which is exactly what I want to export as. A PNG's okay. I think I'm just going to try it as a JPEG. I'm going to go export desktop 1, and it's saying save this to the desktop, and that's what I want to do. Okay, and now I want to minimize Figma, and here is my JPEG, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's it on this video of making buttons in Figma. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.